he believed for one fucking second that their new medical system was going to be beyond reproach, he would have called it Trump care.
Yeah.
He knew it was going to fail. It was set up to fail, and it's all bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's all bullshit. Well, that's why Ryan has been left holding the bag. And Bill, did you read this package to repeal Obamacare? Did you read it at all?
No, I didn't.
I read it in detail. And if Obamacare is a pile of shit, and which it is, it's very, very frail, extremely frail. It's got a million problems with it, but it did get 30 million or 20 million, whatever the fucking number is, of people in healthcare. But the biggest hole in Obamacare is that whole, you can never, as a business deal, think that something is going to happen because it should happen. In a business deal, you should always do a business deal based on the worst-case scenario. If you can handle the worst-case scenario, then you do the deal. Obamacare was not set up that way, and that's why it's such a failed program. But, some critics will say it did have success because it gave people that didn't have health care, right? Health care. Mm-hmm. But the Trump package is a piece of shit. Was not well thought out. It's garbage. And it's worse than Obamacare. And Obamacare is terrible. It's terrible.
And Frank, they brought it all on themselves. They set their own deadline. They did not build a consensus within the Congress. And
100%, Bill. So they're 100% correct, and I agree with you 1,000,000%. They did not do a proper due diligence, right? What they should have said to the people, which would have been honest, say, listen, we're going to stick with Obamacare, which is about to implode. It's going to drain like an hourglass, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to organize ourselves. The people who are in critical care, people who are using this, we're not going to throw you out in the street, but we're going to fix it properly. We're going to sit down with Congress and go through this and build a proper form so we don't have to come back to it. But they didn't do that.
No, it was very, very poorly organized for a group of Republicans who have said for 8 years that they could hardly wait to get a president, get power in the Senate, get power in Congress, and to come up with that piece of dog dirt.
And Ryan's been fighting Obamacare for 7-8 years now.
Yeah, but not just Ryan. The whole, like Bill said. And here's my problem. Here's my fucking problem, guys. You have fucking 8 years of bitching and moaning, and now that you own the House and you own the presidency, you have no plan. Shame on fucking you.
Okay.
Well, shame on you, and you've got your tax reform coming up. You're not going to get that through. I see this.
Well, I disagree with you on that one, Billy. I think that they'll get the tax reform through 100% because they're all in on it.
Well, it'll surprise me because the Democrats...
I'll bet you a dinner, Billy, and I have huge respect, the tax reform will go through without even a fart.
Well, here's the thing about
I don't see the Democrats allowing that. They want
the Democrats have no power. The only reason that this new version of Obamacare, which a lot of experts are calling Obamacare Light, didn't go through is because some Republicans joined the ranks of the Democrats to give them the number of votes. But the Democrats are zero. They're inconsequential. They're impudent in any decision unless they get Republicans in Congress to go with them. And I'm telling you, on the tax reform, I think it'll be a landslide.
Well, I hope you're right, Frank. I see that.
I'll guarantee it. I'm telling you, I understand why a lot of guys bailed on Obamacare Light. They didn't want their people, their constituents that voted them in to fucking piss on them, right? And that's why they didn't go, because it was a terrible fucking plan. Terry, did you read it? Did you read that plan?
Frank, it was 300 pages. I didn't have time to read the whole thing.
I read it.
Okay,
twice.
You read it. Frank, the thing was flawed. It was flawed. You didn't need to read the whole thing to know it was flawed.
It was horrible.
It was flawed, and you're right. All these Republicans, they had a responsibility to their constituents. If they didn't like it...
Hey, excuse me, just 1 second.
Yep.
They have no responsibility to their party.
I think your party is secondary. I think is the people who vote you in should be your first loyalty. That's the way I look at it. I could be wrong. I could be retarded. But I think that the first loyalty should be to the people who elected you, and then the second one should be to your party.
Bill, I have to agree with that. They were elected by people. They weren't elected by the party. Once they become part of the party, they can't lose their brains for the reason why they were elected. They have a responsibility to basically vet the thing and say, yeah, in my best opinion, it's not good right now. I can't pass it. That's what they did. They didn't say, get rid of it altogether. They said, at this particular time, it needs more work.